BustedDpad.com presents Resistance 3 Superhuman Difficulty Walkthrough with Journals. This is Chapter 11, Savior. So, lots of grims, lots of leeches. That's a leech, by the way, right there. When you shoot them, they explode. They're definitely bad for business, and you want to stay as far away from them as possible. So we're going to be doing lots of running in this. I've previously thought that the enemies in this level were infinitely respawning. That's not the case. It's just that there's so many of them, and they just do not stop. That it's incredibly difficult if you just don't keep moving towards your objective and you try and stay in one place and fight, because they will eventually overrun you. You really need to be listening to what's going on around you, because you might be fighting a grim or two in the front of you, meanwhile a leech is going to jump and explode on you from behind, and then it's pretty much over. So I'm going to show you what I've found to be the best way to get through this, and it does involve some running, and takes away any exploring that you may want to do. There's a couple houses here off to the sides that have health and ammo, and I'm pretty much going to skip them because you really don't have the time to deal with it, because if you go into a house that you're not supposed to go into, that you can go and check, you might get trapped in there and die, and the checkpoints in this level are not great, so you have to skip a lot of that. So the weapons to use are obviously the Rossmore. The 44 Magnum is pretty good, and the Atomizer is pretty good as well. When we first got the Atomizer, we were pretty much using it in a level with a bunch of grims. So you know, you get the chance to use that black hole style alternate fire again. As you can see, like, things will never ever really quiet down, so you just have to keep plugging on through, and eventually you get through this. Now, this first section is pretty easy. The second one is the one that requires a lot more running. Now, when you get here, you can go explore down to the left, but honestly, it's just easier to head up here and go straight towards the objective. You won't really miss anything. You might miss some health, but all the journals are on the main path here. The first one is actually at the top of this ladder. When you get out here, it's kind of a big ambush area, so try not to get trapped. Some will spawn behind you, some will spawn in front of you when you go down this little alleyway. So try to take them all out in one direction, and you know, that way that you don't get trapped, and you don't start getting hit from the front and the back at the same time, because you're not going to last. Alright, in this church, it's the first time you're going to see what they've been calling Satan. Make sure you take out all the enemies here, because as you can see, I learned the hard way that you can get knocked off this ladder, and it's not really, you know, bad, it's just annoying. Like, I got almost to the top, and this thing knocked me down. Like, you gotta be kidding me. So anyway, when you get to the top, just crouch underneath all the boards and take out these leapers. There's only a few of them. It's not. It definitely gets way worse at the end of this level is not bad with the leapers at all right now. So just keep on going forward. If you're paying attention, you already saw where the journal is. It's there to the right. Instead of progressing through, just crouch underneath this board right here. Pick it up. Okay, now this is a tough sequence to get through. I'm gonna do it using lots of running. Okay, so the atomizer secondary fire and the Rossmore. That's how we're gonna get through this. So run into this building immediately, run past the Grims, run past that leech, and then drop the secondary fire somewhere in this room. Now, as you can see, it'll actually go through the wall, and then come up this way and clear it with the Rossmore. Alright, just keep moving. I end up getting trapped in here, in this building right here, because honestly, I kind of forgot where I'm supposed to be going. It's if you can get this far, it's really not that bad. Getting to this point is actually the hardest, because when you're walking on that one elevated platform, you can actually get knocked back down and lose all your progress and still have a ton of enemies to take out. But if you've gotten this far, you're pretty much almost there. So just keep pressing on, and you will eventually make it. Alright, now this next building is infested with leapers. I'm gonna rush through it as best I can using the 44 Magnum. Make use of the secondary explosive, the secondary fire, which will explode all your bullets, and just try to get through here as fast as possible. There are way too many leapers. When you're here at the beginning, try and thin their numbers. As you can see, I got a mark for 1 out of 5. There's a trophy for killing more than one Chimera with a Magnum round. So I guess this is a good place to grind it out. But once it looks safe enough to move, haul ass. It's time to go. You cannot stop and fight all these leapers. There's way too many of them, and you'll just be wasting your time. So, all you gotta do is make it to this door, and you're essentially in the clear. And then we're gonna meet up with the pastor, and you're gonna have to defend him. But we're also gonna get the cryo, whatever it's called, the ice gun. In my opinion, useless gun, the worst one in the game. I can see why some people might think it's good. I mean, it does have its uses in some of the next few levels. It's also good to have it on hand as ammunition, but in my opinion, this gun is just a waste.
Thanks be to God. I thought we were dead men for sure.
So I've gone ahead and cut out the sequence where you're, walking with him and he's explaining stuff. You're gonna have to defend him while he starts up 2 generators. The best weapons here are, well, essentially the game I think wants you to use the cryo gun. Don't use it. The Rossmore is ideal for this first place because you can defend him essentially with this weapon fully loaded, and I believe there's some rounds on the ground. Once you're done with this part, the secondary fire on the atomizer is one you're going to want to use, because you're essentially getting hit from all, you know, 4 directions coming at you from one. Like, you don't have the good positioning that I have here, so it's kind of hard to hold them off. Make use of the Molotov or the Hedgehog, or, you know, any types of grenades that you want to use. Anything that you can pretty much hip fire and get a kill with is good. Also, the Magnum. Everything's pretty good except for the sniper rifle and probably the auger. But there's plenty of ammo, plenty of health. Defending this guy shouldn't be a problem. Just be careful, because he'll get grabbed. Like, the main way that damage is done to him is he essentially gets humped by a Chimera that will just grab him and, you know, start making Chimera love babies with him, and he'll scream, and it's gonna, you know, hold you back and make things take longer than they need to. So all you gotta do is, you know, once the first one is done, don't follow him, run over here to the right. There's health in here. You'll probably need it. And then go follow him. He actually gets blown up by this, whatever they're called. They're like creepers. Leeches. So there's cryo ammo here. Use it. There's really not much else to say. This is the last thing you have to do. Once you've defended him here, all you have to do is run to the elevator. So make use of whatever ammo you have here. Take them out however you want, and we'll see you in the next chapter.
Thanks.